Have you ever looked at a Subaru steering wheel and been overwhelmed by all of the buttons and wondered what all they do? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about your Subaru steering wheel. And no matter if you have a Subaru that you just purchased here in 2026, or you have one that is 5 or 6 years old, a lot of this information is going to carry over and apply to you as well, because Subaru has done an excellent job at keeping the layout and the controls of their steering wheels fairly similar year over year from model to model. So it doesn't matter if you have a Subaru Outback, a Crosstrek, a Forester, all of this information should apply to you as well. And if you're new here and it's your first time joining me, my name is Alex. I like to make Subaru videos each and every week, helping you learn all the cool tips and tricks around your car. So if you want to follow along, consider clicking that subscribe button down below. And if you do find value in this video, please take a quick second to click that like button down below. That helps me out tremendously and I would really appreciate it. Let's start on the left side of the steering wheel and move our way over to the right. So starting top left, we have the ability to change our channels. So say you're listening to music, you want to change the channel quickly without having to touch the screen over here, you can just simply tap on the right to change the song over. And it doesn't matter if you're listening to Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, your AM, FM radio, this will all work. And by the way, if you want to switch between different music sources, you just click on source right here and it's going to change over here to your FM, your AM, your Sirius XM if you have it, Bluetooth, and back over to your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. The I button stands for information. A lot of people have questions about this because, well, you click it and it doesn't appear to do anything. If you have low tire pressure or low fuel, you're going to see this same letter I up on the display. I believe it's lit up red. You click on that button and it's going to tell you what's going on, whether it's low fuel, low tire pressure, or something else. Right next to it, we have this switch to toggle the menu up or down. This switch was moved here. On the older generation Subarus, you had levers on the back side of the steering wheel. It effectively did the same thing, but this is probably in a much more user-friendly layout because it's right here on the front of the steering wheel. You can just click up or down to cycle through the center of the menu. And I'll briefly go through each of these options here. You have your radio. If we click up, you have turn-by-turn directions. If you have navigation equipped on board on your Subaru, you'll have those turn-by-turn directions. Keep cycling through. You have your compass, individual tire pressure readouts. Those are only going to read out when the vehicle is in motion because they are motion activated. And if you were ever curious about where your tire pressure should sit, you can look on the inside of your door jamb and you'll see both the front and rear tire listed here on approximately where your tire pressure should land. And if they are ever too low or too high, you will see that readout here. They'll highlight it in yellow so you can address it when those things happen. Down towards the bottom, we have some of our hands-free phone controls. So if you want to make a phone call, you can click on this phone button. You can make phone calls here. You don't have to use the dial pad. You can actually use your hands-free button where you just click and hold when your phone is connected. And you can use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto to make hands-free phone calls. I will note, you don't have to have your phone connected through Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. If you just have it connected via Bluetooth, you can still do hands-free phone call. You just tap the button once and this is what it does. It'll pop up here. You'll have your Subaru voice command menu where you can make phone calls that way as well. And then you have a mute or the hang up button. So if you're on a phone call, you can click that to hang up, or if you're listening to music and you want to mute it, you can click that button. But if you do have an incoming phone call come in, it's automatically going to turn the music off and that way you can hear your phone call. Lastly, pretty self-explanatory, you have your volume controls where you can turn the volume up or down without having to use the dial over here. On the right side of the steering wheel, if you are lucky enough to have a heated steering wheel, you will see this lever down at the bottom. You just pull on it, you'll see it light up orange, and when you want to turn it off, you just tap it again. Here are your adaptive cruise control buttons. These are all going to be controlled with cameras on the front of the car. So for many years, as far back as 2013 on some Subaru models, we've had these eyesight cameras that help with forward detection. So whenever you are driving on the road, those eyesight cameras essentially act as a second set of eyes for you, the driver. It's not driving for you, but it helps look for obstacles out ahead to either slow down the car or to adapt your speed when you have cruise control set. So this is how it works. You have a cruise control button right here. You just tap to turn that on. You'll see a little icon on the center display. To set your speed, you click down on this switch, and then you can switch up or down to adjust the speed. When your cruise control is set, say you've got it set at 65 miles an hour going down the highway, and you want to adjust the gap between you and the car out ahead, you just simply increase it here or decrease it by clicking the bottom arrow. This works really well out on the interstate, so if you haven't tried that yet, it's something that is really nice to use when you're on those long road trips. If you don't like adaptive cruise control, you can turn this off temporarily by clicking and holding either of these distance control buttons. So you click and hold it, you'll hear a beep, and the lines will go away. This is when your adaptive cruise control is not active. So say you just like regular cruise, you don't like the adaptive cruise where it's automatically adjusting speed based on the traffic flow up ahead, you can turn it off. But do know that a lot of times when you turn the car off and you turn it right back on, you will notice that if you turn your cruise control on, we'll give it a second here to reboot. When you turn your cruise control on, your adaptive cruise is already back on automatically. And lastly, you have something called lane centering down here. So this works with the adaptive cruise control. So if you have your adaptive cruise control on and you've turned your lane centering on, you'll see a little icon here that says ready with the steering wheel lit up white. As you are driving and there's lane markings on either side, those cameras will pick that up, and then ultimately it's going to change over to green. When that changes over to green, your lane centering is turned on. You still have to have your hands on the steering wheel, but it will help keep you centered in your lane and help you avoid accidentally crossing over the lines inadvertently. Some Subarus even have different driver control settings. You have an S and an I mode. They call it SI drive. So it's effectively like a sport mode or intelligent mode. And you'll notice there's a little bar graph here. The blue line is more gradual for more gradual acceleration. And then you have that S mode, which is more sharp acceleration. So it's going to subtly change the driving characteristics on acceleration. On the back side of the steering wheel, people oftentimes confuse these plus and minus levers for the volume switch, but these are actually called paddle shifters. And truthfully, probably most people don't use these, but Subarus, a lot of them have the ability to go into a manual mode, and you can use paddle shifters to shift up or down. And the idea behind this is maybe if you are on a steep incline, climbing up a steep hill, you might want to start out in a higher gear, or maybe you've lost traction and you want to have a little bit more control over your throttle response. You can start out in a higher gear. So this is something that, again, not everybody is going to use, but it is on a lot of Subarus, and that's what those paddle shifters are. If you want to see a full in-depth video on the paddle shifters and more explanation around that, you can click on the YouTube card above to the right. I hope this video has given you some more confidence around your Subaru steering wheel controls. If you have any questions, as always, leave those down in the comments section below. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.